Hey friends, it's Laura. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Recently, I have been doing a lot of what I would call spring cleaning of my plants. I've been cleaning, rearranging, pruning, propagating, plant shopping, all the things that plant people do in the spring. So in this video, I'm going to take you on a sort of mini plant tour, show you the updates, show you the new leaves in my collection, and show you a couple new plants. I have one new plant that is very exciting. I'm gonna show you all my propagations, just kind of like an updates video. So if you're into that, grab your coffee, grab your tea, and let's get started. All right, so the first update thing is I rearrange my plants a lot. That is like one of my favorite relaxing hobbies, is to rearrange my plants, find better spots for the plants, etc. So I feel like they're well organized right now and have lots of room to grow, which is important as we go into the spring and summer. So I'm gonna just show you and hopefully you enjoy. So here on this top shelf, I have my silver sword, my monstera, my philodendron narrow, and my philodendron Florida green, all on bamboo stakes. They have lots of room to grow upwards, and I'm kind of imagining hopefully they can sort of fill in all of that white space up there. They were all in spots where they couldn't really grow upwards as much. I mean, the Florida green has always been there, but the other plants didn't really have room to grow upwards, and I was starting to see like, okay, they are actually growing and they need that space. I also think they really add kind of like a height to this wall, which I really like. And you can see here I have some little plants sort of scattered in there just sort of to fill in the gaps. This second shelf used to, well, it does still have a grow light, but the grow light actually burnt out. And I, of course, was going to replace it, but then I was like, it's spring. Maybe we can get away without a grow light, at least for spring and summer. So I rearranged these plants. So now on the bottom, all of these plants get a grow light like 12 hours a day. I turned it off for the video, but normally they're getting 12 hours of grow light, and then these plants are not getting any light other than the light from the window, and we're gonna just see how that goes. And this is one of the plant updates I actually wanted to show. This is my philodendron melanochrysum, and it has a new leaf, which is unfurling there. It just looks so beautiful the way it's like hanging there, slowly unfurling. Sometimes the light hits it and it is absolutely stunning. So that is one of the spring updates. This plant I kind of chopped and propped, and it's doing really, really well. Back there, the varicosum, I actually just propagated as well. I'm gonna show you all my propagations. I chopped a lot of my plants up because it is the season. In here, this is a new plant too. You have to take the lid off. This is my new jewel orchid. I just got it and I immediately planted it in a jar because I think that will probably be the easiest for me. It's got some moss in there. So far, it seems really, really happy. I'm really excited about this plant. I don't have any jewel orchids. I actually don't have any orchids at the moment either. So I'm really excited about this one. She seems really happy in the jar situation. Hopefully that stays true. Back here, oh yes, I cut up my, these are all like the plants I cut up. These are little divisions of my philodendron soderoy, silver soderoy. The big one is right near the window. So this is the one I'm keeping, and then I just like cut out all the little divisions to trade or sell. I'll go over the propagations in a little bit. And then on the bottom shelf, I have, like I said, the plants that need a little bit more light. So I've got my begonias there, my succulents. This little project is very exciting. So again, spring project. I propagated a begonia leaf. So it's just half in there. It's been like that for about 2 or 3 weeks. So it's not dead. It hopefully is rooting, and hopefully we're gonna see some new growth very soon. I love doing little projects like this in the spring. It just makes me excited for things to come. Pretty cool update on this haworthia. It's got these big, tall, beautiful blooms. Flowers are pretty simple, but I mean, they're still really beautiful. I'm always very excited when succulents bloom because I feel like it does not happen very often in my little Canadian home. And then there's a whole bunch, how many? Three new blooms coming in on this haworthia. Oh, and there's one more flower coming in there. Anyway, this plant has bloomed for me before, but never 6 flowers at once. So that is really, really cool. I have cut off the blooms in the past because I've heard they attract pests, but I'm gonna just let these ones grow in. I feel like not having any big pest issues, so I can just let it bloom and be happy. Over here, no big changes other than I put my philodendron ploumanii right here. I think actually this is a really good spot for her because she just kind of fills out this area. Before she was up here and taking up quite a bit of room. But here I feel like we see all the leaves, and there is actually 1 or 2 new leaves on their way. And I'm actually thinking once this leaf opens up, I'm gonna chop right here and propagate this plant. I'm thinking about it, we'll see. I might actually not have the heart to do it, but we will see. Up there, Philodendron Dark Lord is down to 1 leaf because I chopped him up as well. I did take some cuttings from my Rhaphidophora here, but you can't really tell. And then over here in this corner, no real big changes other than I put my Monstera Peru on a, I wouldn't call this a pole, I put it on a, again, a bamboo stake that I cut, just to hopefully give it something to climb up, and then obviously I can extend that once it grows in. But I did chop something off of it, so that won't be for a little while. And over here is my dragon's tail, and I did put that on a bamboo stake as well. And as soon as I did that, that little leaf started emerging. So I think it likes the bamboo stake so far. I know this plant likes to climb, but I just hadn't figured out where to put all these tall plants. So I'm really happy now just to have like all the tall plants in one spot so that they can just grow and thrive. Before figuring this out, I kind of was not wanting them to get much taller because they didn't have space. But once I put these plants on the bamboo stakes, all of them started working on new leaves. Now, maybe that's just because of spring, maybe, but I am happy either way. So this is the silver sword. You can see there's like 1 or 2 new leaves coming out of there. You can probably see the string. I just attached these poles to the wall with string. That nail was already there. So hopefully that will just keep everything from toppling over. My Monstera is nothing that exciting, but it put out that new leaf once it was attached to a bamboo stake. My Philodendron Narrow put out that new leaf. So we're talking about like 2 or 3 weeks since I attached it. So I would say that probably it's because of the stake, but also could be because of spring. And then this little growth, this is so funny. So this growth has been here for 1.5 years. It is from when this plant broke off and I just rooted that little piece and planted it in there, and it has done nothing. But now it is starting to open up. There is a leaf or 2 leaves coming out of there. So it's just funny, like you never know what is happening under the surface of the soil or what's happening inside the plant. Like 1.5 years is a pretty long time to be working on a leaf, but I guess it just needed to get properly rooted in there and happy and enough light, and who knows, but it's coming out pretty soon. And then my Florida green, way up there, you can see a new leaf that is on its way. This leaf was already almost unfurled when I attached it, but it is very, very cute as well. So it's just nice to, you know, give your plants new situations, see how they react. Oh, and I see right now that there is a new leaf coming in on my Philodendron Moonlight, which is very, very exciting. My Philodendron Moonlight, I find, I don't know, I don't think it has pests or anything. That's just dust. I don't think it has pests or anything, but I just find the new growth is not always as like healthy as I expect it to be, because the plant itself is very healthy, but the leaves often just, I don't know, maybe it's not getting enough light. Oh, my painted lady there got a chop as well. And then we'll move into this little corner. This Philodendron Gloriosum is doing amazing here. This is her new spot. I put her on top of this like plant shelf situation. So I attached all of the leaves to, again, a bamboo stake. I love my bamboo stakes apparently. And so now it's kind of like, I don't know, a centerpiece or like something you just, I feel like I look at this plant a lot more. It's getting definitely more light and I can just admire it more, if that makes sense. Before it was also up here and it was beautiful. It looked beautiful there. It was getting enough light for sure, but I feel like it kind of got lost beside the Ploumanii and everything else that was going on over there. So now I feel like she really gets like the credit she deserves up here. Right below here is my Peperomia prostrata, or string of turtles, and I moved it here. It used to be getting a lot more light on top, and now I really like, I think it looks really pretty here, but I am a little bit worried it will be getting less light on top. but it is actually currently blooming. I think it's happy. I'm gonna just keep a really close eye on it and see if it's continuing to grow. But overall, I am so happy with this plant. I feel like it's just a really healthy specimen. I've grown quite a few string of turtles, and some of them just are not that strong, if you know what I mean. But this one is just going on. I think we might have a chance of having like a really full overflowing plant. I mean, it is pretty full and overflowing already, but anyway, I love her. And right below the string of turtles is my Philodendron Prince of Orange, and this is really dumb of me, or I don't know what, but I had it before in a terracotta pot that had like 10 holes on the bottom. And the reason for that is my husband like made this craft out of terracotta pots. Anyway, I was reusing a terracotta pot is the point, and I didn't think any extra drainage would be a problem, but the leaves were all coming out like this. Like you can see, this is not great, and often they would just fall off or just be really deformed. I cut off a lot of them, so there's not really like a very good example, but they were just coming out not amazing. And I think the plant was really thirsty. That's what I've kind of determined. I think it was really thirsty and not able to do everything it was supposed to do. Anyway, there's new growth. Since switching it to a normal pot, it seems to be doing a lot better because it's actually getting something to drink. So I'm happy about that. We will see how that goes. And then down here, this is kind of like the ugly spot, but that's my Syngonium. I just chopped her up as well. So I mean, she's definitely doing better than she was a few months ago when she was just like little rooted cuttings, but I did do a chop. And this is not like, this is kind of the ugly corner. There's all the cords and stuff like that, but she's getting adequate light, and maybe she can grow in and cover up all those cords. We'll see. All right, next up I'm gonna show you all of the propagations that I have going on. This whole table is covered in props, things I'm trying to grow, trying to separate. And then I'm also gonna show you like the cabinet. I've rearranged the cabinet and I really love how it looks. But let's do props first. This is the current prop table. I'm doing some plant swaps like in the mail, and then I'm also going to be selling more plants on Etsy once the weather gets a little bit warmer. So that's why I'm doing so much propagation. I also just like having, like when I prune things, I like to just root them up nicely, get them ready, because then I can always use them as gifts or just, you know, I have them ready. Over here, these ones are already in water. These ones I did a few weeks ago. There isn't any roots just yet that I see. I don't see, oh, what's that? No, that's just an aerial root. So no roots yet, but that's okay. So I've got some Cebu Blue. These are just pruned off. They didn't have any leaves. We'll see what happens there. Those I'll probably just plant back into the plant once they're ready. A Philodendron Dark Lord. So yeah, I took a pretty hefty cutting of that one. Yes, the lucky recipient of that one. That's for one of my plant swaps. Periso Verde, which of course is reverted or something in my situation, but I took some cuttings anyway. I have some over here as well. We'll see. Constantly experimenting with that plant. I actually have it in the cabinet now. You're gonna see in a second. My Painted Lady, I took a really beautiful cutting of her. Oh, see, some of these cuttings, I take them and then I'm like, oh, maybe I should just keep them, but we'll see. And beside her, I have Philodendron Verrucosum rooting up. These are just pretty tiny leaves, and they aren't perfect. Like this leaf, I don't know, doesn't look that great, but they will make excellent cuttings. They are so beautiful. I've heard Verrucosum roots up pretty quickly. This is my first time propagating it, so hopefully that is true. It seems like a pretty sturdy plant. We will see. All right, and over here, these are cuttings that I actually just took yesterday, so I'm just letting them callus off. I have more Periso Verde. So the reason I had to snip this guy again is because I put him in the cabinet. So I had to cut off some top cuttings, but those will be really nice cuttings once they root up. Another Painted Lady there. You can see I really kind of just snipped all of my nice plants, but I feel like if I'm gonna do it, I should do it now. Syngonium albo, Melanochrysum. So these were like imperfect leaves that I wanted to prune off anyway, but I was able to get 2 nodes on each cutting, so hopefully they root up pretty quickly. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to like sell these or just put them back into my plant. We'll see. They're like pretty healthy. Maybe if I sell them, I'll probably wait till like a healthy leaf comes out. I don't like giving away like random nodes that might not do anything. This is also a Melanochrysum cutting, just with 2 nodes. We'll see if I'm able to root that up. Scindapsus exotica, I was able to get 2 nice cuttings with 2 leaves on it. This leaf still needs to open up. So those will be really nice. Again, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep them. When they look so nice and beautiful, I find it hard to get rid of them, but that is life. Now over here, these are plants that I have divided up. And so again, I got lots of Melanochrysum happening. These ones for sure I could sell or give away. They are healthy little plants, but I probably again will wait until there's another leaf coming out. I just think that's like safe to do. And Ring of Fire. Look at this tiny Ring of Fire. We have to really look at this one. It's so tiny and cute. Honestly, I might keep this one. This one is just so perfect and it'll take up no room at all. Philodendron Billietiae. This leaf, I don't know, this leaf looks like it's on its way out, but other leaves are looking beautiful, and there is a new leaf coming in on that cutting, and then this one is just a little baby one, Philodendron Billietiae. So those are plants that I kind of like cut out divisions. Now over here, these are my loofah plants. I think I've shown them in the past. I'm growing these from seed. Loofah, like as in the sponge. So those sponges actually grow on plants. They are like squashes. So I'm gonna grow these outside eventually. I planted 8 seeds and I have 5 plants. So that should at least be enough to fertilize each other, pollinate each other, and hopefully I grow lots of loofah sponges this year. These ones, because I live in Canada, I have to start them like really early, but they will be going outside eventually. I'm really excited. I've never grown them before. With my outdoor garden, I like to try 1 new plant every year. I mean, sometimes more than 1, but at least 1 new one every year. And I'm just so happy with how these are doing. These just live here. They were under the grow light, but then trying to kind of make them a little bit sturdier. So they're here. Onto the cabinet. So I'm not going to go into detail about all of these plants because I did a plant tour really recently. But as you can see over here, I have mostly alocasia now. And I just like how they look. I feel like they fill out the cabinet really nicely. But right beside them is my Periso Verde. So this is an ongoing issue in my house, is that my Periso Verde has no variegation anymore. And I've done a lot of adjustments for it, but no matter what, the new leaves just don't have variegation. So it's in the cabinet, it's getting maximum warmth, maximum humidity, all the things that we need to have variegation, and we will see. But I did have to prune off those top cuttings because obviously it didn't fit in the cabinet when it was super tall. So we'll see. I don't know if it's okay to have like a coir pole in a cabinet. Like, will it get moldy? We will see. These are things we'll find out. And those are all my little alocasias. They are doing great. And then over here, not any really big changes, but you know, I cleaned everything out. They look happy. All right, the next update is a new plant that I just got yesterday. I am very excited about this plant because I had never seen this plant before at all. Like, I've never seen photos of this plant. Now I have, because I looked into it more. I had never seen this plant in real life. Maybe it's a really common plant and I just haven't seen it, but I'm very excited about it. Mainly like the color. I'm excited about a lot of things. Here she is. Now, she is in very rough condition. Yes, I almost didn't buy her because I am almost positive that she has pests. I'm fixing that. She is going to be totally isolated for a long time because I feel like she could definitely be a Trojan horse, bringing in all the bugs. I'm kind of even nervous just having her in this room, but that's just paranoia. So when I saw her in the store, I actually thought she was just a really mature philodendron golden violin, because those have been popping up, and I have a little tiny baby one. I'm gonna be really careful not to touch the plant just so I don't commute any pests onto her. But this is apparently a philodendron golden violin. I got this for $1 last spring. It had some cold damage and it's slowly recovering. So that was the other reason I was like, I already have a philodendron golden violin. I don't need to get another one. But for this to grow into that will take like a few years. So that I was like, no, just get it. And back to this. The price on this was really, really low because she's struggling. I mean, we can see she's struggling. There is some type of damage there. And then the tip of this leaf is definitely like rotting or something. Now, I don't actually think this is a philodendron golden violin. I think this is a philodendron varshivichii. Aurea. So philodendron varshivichii aurea, or golden. That is what I think now. It of course was just labeled as philodendron. And there's also definitely the possibility that this is just a really sick plant and it looks cool because it's on its way to heaven. Honestly, if you have this plant, please let me know if I am correct. Varshivichii also goes as philodendron saloom, as well as like a thomatophyllum. So there's that philodendron that's usually darker green and it's now been reclassified as thomatophyllum. But then this would be the aurea version. I believe this is the golden version of that plant. That is just what I think. Now, I don't really care as long as it's healthy. Like I feel like this is a very unique plant. If it is related to the philodendron saloom, those plants grow really, really fast and they get really, really big, which is very exciting. But like I said, it is possible that this is just a dying philodendron that looks really beautiful. Is that a pest that I see? Nope, it's just dirt. I really love plants that are this like chartreuse color. Obviously the shape is really unique, so the potential is there. We will see. We will see what happens. I'm gonna go wash my hands. Okay, final update that I wanted to talk about is my ZZ plant. This plant has surprised me. And this is a mixture. This is ZZ just like green. These ones are green, and then there's ZZ Raven mixed together. I had these guys, both of them, under grow lights for a while. Eventually I combined them just to like save room because I have a lot of plants, and they were not growing at all. Like ZZ was doing nothing in my house, but that's fine. And they were taking up like valuable space under the grow light. So I moved this plant into my bedroom and I figured, you know what, it will be getting lower light, but it's not doing anything anyway. It will look pretty there. It will just be happy and not grow, but that's okay. And then after I move it into a low light situation, it starts shooting out new growth. So this shoot is new, this shoot is new, this shoot is new, I believe, and possibly this shoot, I'm not sure. So those shoot out and I am shocked because, you know, why would a plant grow more when it's receiving less light? And I also assumed that those were shoots coming off the green ZZ and not the ZZ Raven, because again, everything I've read says that ZZ Ravens grow way more slowly than the green ZZs. But if we look at them closely, which I'm going to force you to do, we can see that the black color is starting to come into these shoots. So these shoots are actually part of the ZZ Raven plant. Why I'm so excited about this, obviously I'm just excited that my ZZ plants are growing, but I'm also excited just to learn something on my own that actually goes against the information that I had read. So the ZZ plant seems to prefer low light. It seems to grow more in low light, and the ZZ Raven seems to grow just as quickly as the green ZZ, if not quicker in this situation. There's also some little shoots. As I'm talking, I'm just noticing these little tiny shoots coming out. Those I don't think I had noticed before. I'm just happy that she's growing. I'm happy that she's in my bedroom. I feel like it's a good place for her, especially since she seems to enjoy it. And I just wanted to share that. All right, friends, that is all from me for today. I hope you enjoyed this little updates video and I hope to see you next time. Bye.